Oh, we're live. Okay, great. Yay! Hello, everybody. So, as you already probably know, I am Isabel Spradlin of YourMassagePractice.com, and I am so super excited to be here with these two wonderful women today. They're going to introduce themselves in just a minute, but just to ease the tension of who are they? Tiffany and Catherine of Yo Massage. And before we get started, so this is a recording. We're recording our podcast episode together for the Your Massage Practice podcast, but we're doing it live so that if anybody who is watching and joining us would like to ask questions, please do that in the chat. So you should see the chat function somewhere in what you're looking at. I think it's like an upper hand right. And then we'll see it pop through on our end. And so if you have questions as we go, please throw them into the chat and we'll do our best to answer them or respond. So, good. Yeah. Well, without further ado, thank you so much for being here, both of you. Why don't you take a minute to introduce yourselves?
Sure. So I'm Tiffany Ryan, and I am one of the co-founders of Yo Massage. I'm a local massage therapist here in Portland and yoga teacher. And my job that supports my family right now is I'm a social work professor for Our Lady of the Lake University, which sounds funny because it's in San Antonio, but it's a remote position. So that's why I'm also here in Portland. And yeah, I've got three kiddos and a husband here. And just getting to know Portland. I'm new in the past year. So yeah, that's me.
I'm Catherine. I'm originally from Missouri, and I moved to Portland actually to go to law school here. And then I decided that I didn't want to go to law school, and I opened up a yoga studio. So that's my other job, is I have a yoga studio in Southeast Portland. And then I met Tiffany in January, and now we're working on Yo Massage.
Yeah.
Yes. So you two have been working on Yo Massage for a very short amount of time. Sorry, I just realized we're going to close that out. For a very short amount of time, and you have made some huge strides in that short amount of time. So give us a little bit of the history of Yo Massage since January.
Yeah, so it is crazy. I think we haven't even realized how fast it's gone. And then when people ask us, how long have you been doing this? And we thought back and we're like, oh my gosh, yeah, it really has not been very long. And we've gotten a lot has happened, I guess. So yeah, in I guess it was January, I was trying to make my way into the yoga and massage world in Portland. And it's fairly saturated, it seems. And, for a new person coming in, it was challenging. But Catherine saw on my resume that I sent her that I went to UT Austin, and she also went to UT Austin.
Okay, and so that's the connection.
Yeah, so she just said, I don't really have any classes for you to teach, but I'd like to meet you. I feel like I should meet a fellow Longhorn. And so I was like, okay, I'll take anything I can get, So we met and just chatted, and I talked a lot about, my passion for body work and touch and massage, and how I feel like it, just aligns so well with yoga and the mindfulness piece of it, and just so many things about it. So we kind of had this conversation, and I left and didn't hear, from her for a couple of weeks, and then she emailed and said, I don't have other classes for you to teach, but what do you think about combining yoga and massage? And I was like, I don't know. I'm not sure. Let me think on that. And so I was just doing some brainstorming and thinking of, what poses we might be able to use that would, certain muscle groups would be accessible and people could still be comfortable. And so then, yeah, we put together our first class. We did not call it Yo Massage then. And Catherine had a very small yoga studio at that time. She's now upgraded and has a larger space, but it was very tiny. So we thought, well, I think, 3 to 5 people would be good. And we practiced on her friends for a couple times, on my husband, we were practicing, making sure, and we threw some poses out and things. I was like, oh, that doesn't quite work. But yeah, and then it was very popular. And Catherine's the brainchild behind, making it into a training for other people, which she saw how popular it was. And she's like, we really should be teaching other people how to do this, so.
Yeah, so
yeah. Well, and whenever we first initially started talking about it, you I think you said you looked online and you couldn't find anything else like it.
Yeah, I was trying to find something to help me.
Ideas, and like there was nothing, and so that's the other thing that made us, think, oh wow, maybe we do actually have something really cool here. So that was.
Yeah. So when you first pitched it to her, Catherine, did you have a sense that this could turn into something, or were you just kind of brainstorming?
I was just brainstorming, really. I mean, before we had like a restorative and essential oil class, so I was like, oh, maybe it could be like something like that, where it's, like a special offering that we do. And after we started doing it, then I was like, oh, maybe we could, make this into something. So yeah, no, I didn't definitely, I mean, even over the past like few months is whenever we've kind of like started to have these like big dreams and visions about the yoga massage class. So
yeah, so tell us a little bit about that beginning stage of starting to realize that something more could happen with this, and then how did you? So there's so many questions we can touch on here, right? How did you decide to kind of work together in this partnership? What brought that about?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think we actually had other ideas for things we wanted to partner on outside of, like, we were just doing this class, right? We were doing every weekend, and we enjoyed working with each other. And then we were like, we should, like, do something bigger together. But we couldn't quite figure out what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then we kind of just let it go for a little bit. And, maybe this is just not something that's going to happen. And then Catherine, had that idea about making yoga massage a training. Now that was probably after like 4 or 5 months of us doing the yoga massage class and
so
seeing
like April, May.
Mm-hmm.
May. Yeah. But I think that whenever I said that, like, I felt also like maybe you had been thinking about it a little bit, because you're like, okay, like, I already have the stuff. Like, I felt like it was like, okay, let's go. Yeah.
We were just talking today. We were having a meeting at the T-Bar before we came here, and I was just saying that I just feel so lucky working with Catherine, because I feel like there are certain people that, like, they have an idea, but maybe then they don't act on it, right? And, like, I feel like with us, it's like we have an idea, and even if it seems like big and maybe scary, like, we like do the work to get it done. And so, like, to have a partner that, like, gets shit done, right? Like, that's so nice to have a partner like that. So and
I think that's the thing about it, is like, we could just be like sitting here waiting for like people to ask us to do trainings and stuff. And I think that's one of the reasons why, now we have trainings scheduled all over the place, because we just took the leap, and Tiffany just one day like messaged everyone, and now we have trainings scheduled all across the country. And like, most people, I don't think, would do that step to actually, take it into their own hands. Maybe just like, well, let's wait until, someone reaches out to us, or until we feel like, it's really, we're going to have all these people sign up, and,
I mean, you have to put it out there, right? Yeah.
So one of the things that you were telling me you've been learning a lot about recently is sort of the behind the scenes structure. So of course you have students signing up for your trainings. This is all very exciting. And there's a lot that, as I'm always talking to about my students, like, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that it can make success look so easy, but really there's a tremendous amount going on behind the scenes. So I know that one of the things that you've been really excited about in the past couple of weeks is this lawyer visit, like a meeting that you had. So just to give everybody a tool right off the bat, like, tell us about the service that it was, and then we'll talk about what kind of came out of it.
Yeah. So we have been, I feel like, we put things out there, and then we get a response, and then we're like, oh, what do we do with the response? Oh my gosh, now we have to like figure out like what we're doing in this phase, right? And then, okay, now, our first training's coming up. Okay, like, now we have all these things. I mean, it really was like probably 3 weeks before the first training, we're like, oh, we need all these liability releases, and we need them to sign, I mean, it was this legal stuff that we hadn't thought about at all. We're thinking, yeah, we have this training, great. But there's a lot more to it, right? So Catherine had the foresight, thank goodness, she's the business mind. Like I am not. So thank God for her.
Yeah, we complement each other very well.
Yes.
Yeah.
She had the foresight like this summer, and she's like, we should probably have like a partner agreement. Number one, right?
Right.
We should probably, talk to a lawyer about trademarking things, and we should probably talk to a lawyer about licensing agreements because our Yo Massage utilizes a licensing agreement model, and so yeah, she had the foresight to find the small business legal clinic. Which, how did you know about that?
So actually, this is something I talked to another person that one of my friends connected me with, who has done something similar, like created a training, and then she connected me with her and we talked on the phone, and she's from Portland. And she advised me to talk to the small business legal clinic, and she was like, they will help you. You need a licensing agreement and you need to trademark. And so I think it's also about making connections with other people and like not being afraid to like reach out, with which Tiffany says all the time, like, nothing bad can happen from like sending an email. Like the worst is that they say no. And so it was really awesome that she like talked to me and we got all this advice, and we were able to meet with the small business legal clinic.
Well, and one of the things I feel like that's really intimidating to even, because I mean, for me, the legal clinic called me, they do a little interview.
And this is pro bono, right?
Yes.
What we were able to get is because we don't have much income.
Right. Oh,
so we qualified for the
as needed basis.
Yeah. Okay. So they asked for your tax returns.
I see. So they kind of verify income.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So take notes, everybody.
And they want to know how many people are in your family and all that good stuff. So yes, there was that, but they kind of do this interview and like, well, what do you need? And honestly, I was like, I don't know. I need you to tell me what I need. Like, that's why I need to talk to a lawyer, And so but they kind of need you to tell them something, right? Because they contract with these different lawyers who have different specialties. So they need to know who to contact for you, to set up to meet with you. So we did that, and it's a bit of a wait list, so you have to think ahead of time. I think it took 2 months.
Yeah, at least
to get in.
It took a long time.
Yeah, I just felt like when I say 2 months, that doesn't sound that long, but it felt like forever waiting for that.
Yeah.
Well, you're both moving really fast, and so 2 months on some of the most foundational pieces of your business on the legal side, that can feel like a long time to wait.
Yeah.
But you did, and you didn't just like think, oh, that's too long, I'm just going to ignore it. You actually did it,
right.
which is awesome.
Yes, you have to. And honestly, we met with the lawyer a week before our first training.
Yeah.
And so with the licensing agreement, he's like, well, I can't do that for you in a week, but here's what you can do in the meantime, kind of thing. So, but I mean, the things that he brought up were stuff we hadn't even thought about. And we were taking like feverish notes, like, oh my gosh, and that. And we both left and we were like, oh my God. Or can we do this? Should we just stop? Like, should we just be like, no, this is too scary?
And that's real. I'm so glad you said that, because I think so often when we're building our businesses, we'll hit these moments where we kind of are struck by the seeming enormity of what it is that we're doing, right? And most of the time it's because we're coming into contact with information that's outside of our wheelhouse. Like we're massage therapists or yoga teachers. And yeah, we run a small business, but sometimes like you just hit that stuff and you're like, wow, maybe I should just leave the profession altogether. That's what's gonna happen. But so I just wanted to slow us down for a second and just acknowledge like that's a really common thing. And then now I want to know, like, so you had that feeling.
Well, we were talking about that before we met today, and like kind of how I was saying it's awesome. Another reason why it's awesome that we have each other is because like if I'm like, feeling down about something, or like someone online said something and I'm like, oh no, maybe we shouldn't be doing this. And it's like her positivity like lifts, like brings me back. And then like,
we take turns.
Yeah. But like, if it was just me, I feel like I would just, be like, oh no,
it's too overwhelming.
I can't do it. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think a partnership is for everyone, but it like really works really well for us.
Yeah.
So,
And I think it points to, even if it's, and I just want to acknowledge that we have some people watching us. Yay, welcome, glad you're here. That, like sometimes that support comes in the form of partnerships. And sometimes it's like your life partner or your husband or wife, or sometimes it's your, you hire a mentor or you're part of a group or things like that where people are kind of like really working on their businesses. They're really doing the work of it, right? And I think it is so nice to have, well, not so nice, it's like necessary to have that support.
Yeah.
It totally
and it's so great that you are that for each other.
yeah.
So just briefly wrapping back around to the legal thing, just to wrap that up a little bit. So you had this moment of like, whoa, should we do this at all? But of course, you obviously decided to go forward. So what do you think was your biggest takeaway from the experience that you had with that?
Gosh, do you have something?
I think just that we have to be really, really careful with our brand and our company. And I think everyone does, but especially since we're in, it's touch and then it's yoga, there's all these other, things that could happen. And then we're also allowing people to go out and use our name. So we need to be really careful about the, people that we allow into our training. And like, if something were to happen with someone using our name, and then it could come back on us and all these
scary
things.
Yeah.
So like, how can we protect ourselves? And like, we can't prevent these things from happening, but we can protect ourselves and kind of, know what to do if something were to happen.
Yeah. And it feels really, after we met with him and we did take some action steps that we could immediately to kind of, volster our protection. And it just feels like peace of mind, right? Like after you meet with somebody and they tell you all these things you need to do, and now, like, okay, and then breaking it down, like, right after the meeting, it was like, overwhelmed, but then like, really, okay, what is it? What is it really that we have to do here? And it's manageable, and they're going to help us with some of it, And so, and it's baby steps too, because he even said like, if you get really big, then you're going to do more. There's going to be all these other things you're going to have to do. But right now, just here's the basics, stick to this now, and then we'll revisit, And
I think that's really great advice. Like knowing that as you're building your practice, like as a massage therapist, like I see people all the time that they want to do these great things with their practices and open clinics and things like that. And that's awesome.
Yeah.
Do that if that's what you want to do. But it's so much easier to build the foundation first. Like, it doesn't feel easy, but if you do the foundational work first and then ramp up from there and then ramp up from there,
right,
then you already have the bottom line stuff in order, and you're not trying to go back constantly and like refill in your foundation. Right. So
exactly.
So that's great. I think that sounds like really solid.
Yeah.
Place to start.
I would say for everybody, there were things for my own massage practice. I have a separate, practice, and I hadn't even thought about some of the stuff that, this lawyer brought up, and I was like, oh, well, I should check into that,
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Things to think about. So, I would recommend everybody, like, if, financially it's feasible to speak with a lawyer, because, this guy that we met with, $700 an hour he normally charges. There's no way we could afford that,
We charge him for like 2 or 3 hours or something.
And wow, that's great.
And we are having this continual relationship now that he's helping with us with stuff. So it's awesome, that small business legal clinic. And I think there are resources like that, around the country. It's not just Portland, obviously. So
yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for telling us about that amazing tool. I think everybody should make use of it if you have a chance. Cool. So I want to take just a breather, just a moment to take a breath. We've been kind of going at it hard for the last almost 20 minutes. It goes fast. Good. So we're just going to take a moment of silence, a couple of breathing breaths. Cool.
Feels nice.
I know. Especially this is such heady stuff, right? It's very much in our heads and of like the structural stuff. And so it's nice to come back in a little bit.
Totally.
So we have so many other things that we could reach into right now. So let's pick. So I know that one of the other things on your docket has been to figure out your messaging, to figure out your audience. And this comes up for everybody, whether you're doing something in more group settings like what you're doing, but even as individual practitioners, I'm sure both of you have been through this in your own practices or in your own businesses as they've grown, is that we really have to kind of figure out what are we saying about our work and who are we talking to. Mm-hmm. And so how has that been going for you right now or lately? Or from the beginning of time?
Evolution. Constant. Like, I mean, I remember when we were first meeting talking about this, just like brainstorming initial ideas. And it was like, okay, because the small business legal clinic asked us for our business plan, and we were like, oh yeah, let's get on that. We should probably have something in writing, you know? So you can see, it's like steps forward and then, oh yeah, all this, and then, oh, we're excited, and then step back and like, the reality of things. But so yeah, I remember us sitting there and having this conversation, and I was thinking, well, I mean, at first you're like, it's everybody, right? And I feel like as massage therapists are always like that. Like, my clientele is everybody.
Because everybody can benefit.
Yes,
everybody's going to want to show up.
But that's really hard to like market, right? To figure out what you're doing. And then I was like, well, it's me. Because I did yoga, or, we didn't call it yoga massage then, but I'm doing this class, so it's probably people like me, right? And so I'm listing off kind of the demographics of me. But then as we've had people sign up, now we're realizing, okay, who are these people? The people that initially, when we put like a video out on Yo Massage, the people who are reacting and getting excited about it. Who are those people? And so that has changed.
Yeah.
And then I think during our first training, we've been talking about Yo Massage as like a new way to deliver massage, right? That we, so really targeted to massage therapists, obviously, I mean, that's who's doing it. But during the training, we realized we were talking quite a bit about yoga, because these are folks that don't have yoga experience, right? And a lot of them, some do. But so when we're talking about our group, our marketing group, we realized most of the people are not yoga people. They don't know the terms. They don't know the basics. They haven't been to a yoga class.
Interesting.
Yeah. So then it was this whole, okay, so do we need to shift how we're talking about yoga massage? Because of that. What do you have other thoughts on?
Yeah. I think that we are lucky in that, it already starts pretty narrow with us, like massage therapists, but then like you have to go even deeper than that. And that's because I own a yoga studio too. And it's like, everyone can do yoga. Like, I want everyone in the studio. But with us, it's almost, because I always hear, you have to pick your exact avatar. Like, who is the person? And yeah, we started with Tiffany, but then like most of our people don't have experience in yoga. And even if they do, we're doing restorative and yin yoga. And it's different. Even if you have a 200-hour training, you might not be trained at all in restorative poses. So, trying to figure out who exactly it is, and like matching our website, to attract those people. And
and Catherine just had this awesome epiphany just recently. We both are kind of have interesting stories, where we came from, I guess.
You do have very interesting stories. I encourage everybody to go look at their website and read their about pages, their individual pages. It's fascinating.
We beat to our own drum. We're just going to do whatever we want, But really, I mean, I think and she kind of captured this when she was talking about it just a couple days ago with me. The essence of it is like we're badass women that are going to, make things happen, and we're going to see a vision through, and we're going to work for ourselves. And that's who we want yoga massage therapists to be. And like, we just had this, we're like, yeah, because they can start their own business. This is a way for people to have their own businesses, right? Like, even if it's just a step out. So we do have several folks who work like at chiropractic clinics and work for other people that have been taking our training, and this is like their entree into I'm going to do my own thing here a little bit and see how that works. And like, that's what we want. We want to support people in doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it was sort of like this realization. We're like, yeah, that is what, that is what we want this to be. So now we're thinking about how we reframe that. Because that's not what our website was saying at all before. So.
Yeah. And then just to kind of slow this down, because I think what you just described is for my money, the best way to actually figure out who your audience is, which is you have to start somewhere. Everybody thinks they're going to figure out who their audience is just by imagining it.
Yeah.
And that's great. You have to start somewhere. So sure, imagine it from the beginning and then see, I like doing this stuff. Like, who am I? Like, I think that's a great progression. And then you start having people actually interacting. And this is, I think, where a lot of people, it seems so intuitive, but I don't think it is intuitive. You start paying attention to who is actually resonating with what you're doing. And sometimes it's really shocking. Like, sometimes it's surprising the people who want what you are doing. You're like, I had no idea that this would resonate among this particular group. Like, for me in my practice, I was for a while seeing like almost an entire floor of labor and delivery nurses. Like, who knew?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I never in my wildest dreams would have been like, I'm going to go talk to labor and delivery nurses, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think we have to, like, so much of developing your audience and figuring out who you're actually talking to is paying attention to who is actually seeing you.
Right.
So I love that, you were able to see that progression and you're just kind of following it. And then, of course, the longer we're in our businesses, then we just have more data, right? We have more information about who's really engaging, who's really doing what. You get a much better sense of age ranges and other demographics and things like that.
Yeah.
I think what you described is such a beautiful description of the reality of how it goes versus how we're told it should go.
Yeah.
Like, we're really told, like, you should just know who your audience is. You decide, and that's your audience. Yeah. And you have to start there.
Yeah.
But that's not the end of it. Like,
totally.
So I love this growth process that you're.
Yeah,
definitely.
Process. Yeah. Up and down.
Awesome. So I'm not seeing any questions in the chat so far, but just another encouragement. If you're watching live and you want to ask a question, please feel free. Just throw it in the chat there. So you said before that, I think before we started recording the interview, that you had just actually changed your website to kind of reflect some of this new messaging. So back in the realm of tools, I want to know two things. How do you feel like your message is changing? Let's just start there. How is your message changing as you feel like you're understanding your audience better?
Yeah, I'll let you take that.
Well, we started with our website being more about how you can add this to your practice and like how it can benefit you as a massage therapist, and like here are the different ways. But I think we're coming to realize that we don't want this to just be another like modality that you can add on. We want this to be like, this is like a game changer for you, like being able to do your massage and have like these new clients and have 8 people in one session, and being able to offer this in 90 minutes and serve this different demographic of people that wouldn't necessarily do a 90-minute table massage with you. Like, they're new to yoga, they're new to massage, and it's almost an introduction to massage for them. And it's something that people can do regularly. It's pretty affordable. So, you might be seeing clients weekly doing like a yoga massage class, and we can see people doing yoga massage classes every day. And you can make, 3 or 4 times in a yoga massage class what you can make from a regular table massage. So we really want to get that message out that this isn't just another like modality. This is like a complete game changer for massage therapists.
Yeah. And Catherine, I mean, she's been able to, she looks at other websites, other, people who are doing, not some similar things, but in a similar manner, right? Like they might have, some similar aspects to what we're doing. And so she'll look and say, okay, well, here's how they kind of organize things. And I like that. And I don't like that at all. Or, just in terms of organization, really, design and marketing, that's, I think separate. But I'm horrible at website development.
I'm
I'll cry and
obsessed
throw
with it.
things.
Crying.
It's not good. Ask my husband.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's our all things website. She loves playing with it, and
Yeah,
I'll just
I'm doing it right now, like during the and our break during the training, I was like, oh, let me read the website. I just love it. I love doing that kind of stuff, like looking at other brands and seeing what they're doing, and it's just really, it's fun for me. I do that on a Friday night,
which is amazing. And I think I love that you brought this up, because I think one of the things that tends to happen for people especially when they're just starting their practices, is that they kind of shy away from researching what other people in their same field are doing. And I think we shy away from it for a couple of reasons. One is we're afraid we'll never measure up. Like, that can be one of the things that happens. And the other thing is, like, there's this, it's the competitive feeling of like, well, if they're doing that, then I can't do that. And you start like, instead of really engaging with what other people are doing and seeing how they're doing it and what they're doing, and does this open up any ideas for me? We kind of, unfortunately, often kind of our internal state lets that close things down for us rather than open it up. So I'm really excited. And I think research shows over and over again that the more that you can let that open you up, like the more you actually thrive in your own business.
Right.
Not just because you know what's going on in your community around you, but because you're getting new ideas, and instead of taking it as a threat, you're taking it as like, that's interesting. Like, I know I don't quite want to do that, but what about this other thing that's like now in my mind, And so
you can take ideas from everyone, and everything has pretty much been done before, and like everyone's always taking inspiration from other people. It's not so likely that you're going to come up with like a completely original design idea, like when we're talking about design for websites and stuff and other things too. Like, you have to draw inspiration from other people, and for me, I can't just create something out of my head. I have to like look up a bunch of different ideas and different websites, and then I'll come to something that I want. But I don't think for anyone it's like you just like come up with it in your head and then you can make it happen. You have to get inspiration from other people.
Yeah. And I think that goes for every part of business, not just the design side of things. Yeah. So sort of the ancillary question to that, coming back to the tools of all of this, is what do you use? Did you hire a web designer, or do you use like a web tool?
We've done everything ourselves, basically. Like we've hired.
Give yourself the Catherine's done everything.
But for the business in general, like we haven't hired.
I have done some stuff there.
Tiffany's like, I don't do anything. I just sit and drink tea.
But yeah, specifically for the website, I use WordPress. So, and then I use a theme builder within WordPress. But I think it's anyone can learn it if you want to spend like a week, on your computer watching YouTube videos on like how to do stuff. Anyone can learn how to use WordPress, and that's what most developers are going to use anyway. So if someday we did want to go to a developer and have them work on our website, then they would already use like what we're using right now.
Which we know we want to in the future. Like, we have a part on our website where we list our yoga massage providers that we've trained. And we know at some point we want to be able to have a map function where they can, click, but that's, I think, beyond Catherine's scope. And so we have that on the list for, the vision board for when we have money to make that happen. Yeah. That's, something we'll solicit help for.
Yeah. So I just want to be aware of time. We have about 10 minutes left. And is there anything coming up for you in all of this? And it doesn't have to be an immediate answer. We can take another couple breaths as you think about it. Anything that you want to share with massage therapy? My audience is massage therapists, but of course, people watching this are from all different modalities and things like that. So is there anything particular about your experience in sort of this initial year of yoga massage that you want to share with anybody watching or listening?
Oh, gosh, for me, it's, I'm not somebody, I mean, we're all busy, right? We're all busy. We all have a lot of things going on in our lives. And it's hard to really get behind something if you're not passionate about it. And so like, yeah, I mean, I just wouldn't spend my time, you know, I would rather be spending it with family or doing whatever if I'm not like really passionate and excited about something. And I think that's been the thing with Yo Massage for me is we were just talking about this again, like an hour ago, about how it's just fun. We're having so much fun doing it, and we want to spend all of our time, you know, working on it. And yeah, so I think just that, like, and if it's not fun, then either figure out a way to make it fun or don't do it, right? Like,
right. Well, and along with that too, I mean, I guess, you know, I think there are moments when it's kind of not fun.
Oh, totally.
Like, right.
Yeah.
That weird.
Yes.
I assume you weren't like, yay, when he was telling you all these things.
Yeah.
So it's,
Yeah.
but fun being like that deeper sense of fun, of like adventure and like, wow, I'm learning so much, and kind of that wonderment of it. And so not like every morning,
Right.
like, best day ever.
No,
like,
yeah,
but
I
there's
get to
not
create contracts in studios.
Yeah.
Or yeah. Like,
Yeah.
But just, yeah, that sense of excitement of what you're putting out there in the world ultimately, right? Like, what is all this work going towards? And can you get behind it? Like, are you passionate about it? And I think, you know, Catherine and I both are like, we love it, you know, and you know, we should as co-founders. Like, I would hope so.
Yeah.
But yeah,
like I'm going to a Yo Massage class that we just trained someone to, and like we are the clients too. Like we want to go to these classes, and yeah. But I think that what I would say is a lot of what we've done and like people that we've met have really helped us, and we're both brand new to Portland, and I personally am an introvert and I don't like talking to people, but so I think anyone can talk to people and make connections. If I can do it, like other people can. And that's a big part of it, is you don't have to know people to make this stuff happen. You can make the connections on your own. You can reach out to people, have meetings, and maybe like 10% of those meetings will turn into like someone who knows someone else that they can set you up with. And you know, sending out emails to random people, which we did.
That's how we met you.
Yes.
Well, I mean, really, but I think it happens organically too. So you find people that you think have similar interests, and you just get to know them, and they get to know you, and then you find out if there's any way you can be of assistance to each other. And it's just an organic thing, and I think it's fun. It's fun. I love meeting people that I have similar. I mean, you know, it's like you're part of the same tribe. Like, it's awesome to meet people that are doing work that you're both passionate about, you know? So, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm the same way. I'm a pretty classic introvert, and, you know, like, it's one of the things I say all the time, like, learning to do this stuff doesn't mean you have to suddenly become extroverted. It's just skills. You're just learning and employing skills, and that includes these reach out skills. And like, okay, well, how am I going to use my precious energy spending it with other people? And you know, when you're focused about it, you can completely be 100% introvert and have a successful business.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I think it's easy for people to say like, oh, that person was successful because they knew that person, and it's like, no, like I didn't actually know them. I like knew someone, and then I like put myself out there, and then they were able to connect me with this person who connected me with that person. And so it's, you know, you don't have to have these connections. You can make them on your own.
That's a beautiful point. And I think that's a beautiful place to end for today. Yay. Well, thank you both so much.
Thank
Tiffany
you.
and Catherine.
Thank you.
So tell everybody where to find you.
yomassage.co is our website, and we have all our trainings up there. We just finished our Portland trainings, but we'll be doing Bend at the end of October and Seattle at the beginning of November, and San Antonio in December, and you'll see the list. So they go on and on.
They have a lot of trainings. And for anybody that finds this way down the road, just check out the website, yomassage.co.
Yes.
And thanks again so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye.
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 Bye. And